Currently, as the sister said, I am working as a postdoctoral fellow in Indian Institute of Science. I would like to share some of the truths and the things God has done in my life. I was born in a poor family where my parents used to go for a work. Me and my brother, we are the two. My brother is a younger one, and so normally I started my schooling at my hometown. Later I just moved to around my age of 7th. I mean for my 5th standard, I joined in a hostel which is run by some of the missionaries. So you know, right, missionaries, they have a morning and evening we have a prayers, but though we have a prayers, I never took it as a serious. Normally, as usual, as a rule, I attend the prayer meetings, I just go there and then come back. It is after my schooling, I moved to the intermediate, I completed my intermediate, I moved to the degree. So during the second year of BSc, Bachelor of Science, I attended a public meeting which is conducted in Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. So there the speaker was telling in that day, this might be the last day for you. If at all if you miss this chance, what will be your future after your death? Do you have any future after death? He was questioning and and speaking from the God's point of view, from the Bible point of view, and it touches my heart that what will be my future after my death? Is there any life after it? Where I will go? Then he keeps saying that you have been listening the God's word from the years, but you never accepted it. Then I felt that probably this might be for me especially. So that day God spoke to me and I confessed my sins. I accepted Jesus as my personal savior. Then I started my life. That day onwards, there is changes in my life day by day. The moment that I started attending the classes like morning and evening prayers, it's really impacting my life. I'm trying to understand what God really is speaking to me, and I'm trying to follow it as the days goes. So I completed my BSc. I have written an exam for my MSc, Master of Science in Physics, for a written entrance exam. So results has come, I got a rank, dates has given for the counseling. I went for the counseling with all my required certificates, and counseling also has been going smoothly. They have checked my document, based on my rank, they said that you will be going to allotted a material science. There in physics, there are different subjects: nuclear physics, pure physics, material science, something different subjects. So they said you will be allotted for a material science. I said okay, fine. So my certificates has been passing from the table to table for a verification. At one point it got stopped, and they said we will be not going to process your seat in MSc because your income certificate is very old, so we would not processing. I said okay, fine. I requested them, give me some time, at least a week or 3-4 days. I'll try to get the new one. They said no, we won't give you time because it's going regularly. We are not recommending anybody to take excuses. I said okay, fine. I took my certificates. I came out from the campus, and then I was asking God, Lord, why you brought me to here till this situation, and suddenly you cancelled this thing. I said okay, fine. I was so depressed, and even in the campus itself I cried, and then get back, and that while I have to come from Vizag to the Ongole, both are in Andhra Pradesh, but it's almost some 15 hours journey. So I called to my brother and said situation is like this, so can you try to put off an income certificate on my name so that I can reach and collect that one. So probably that is on Thursday or Friday. Somehow my brother put up the income certificate, and he could able to get within one day he got the certificate from the MRO office. It was very strange. Normally we need to get 3 signatures like a VRO and some Mansub and then revenue officer, Mandal revenue officer, MRO. It has been done very nicely. So I back to home, took the certificate and I just went to Guntur where I studied. I stayed there and I came to know that the second counseling is going to start on Monday onwards. So I back to the university. So second council started, again the process is going on, and this time they said you will be allotted for a pure physics. That is the top subject in physics. They said okay fine, certification verification is done, they have given allotted, and but they said that you will be not going to get a hostel seat because we have completed the all hostels in the first counseling itself. We are not going to give hostels for the second counseling students. I said okay fine. I took the seat, joined, and then 2 of my friends, I started staying in a room. So the 2 friends are not believers. I was very new in that city and the situation. I was not comfortable with them because among that one person used to smoke even in a room, and I really frustrated like anything. And the bad thing that I don't have a money to eat also. Morning only once I will eat, and after whole daytime only I will eat once. Then night we will go to a room and then we'll cook, we'll eat it. That's a scenario. But I was really I cannot without food I could not able to sustain also. But somehow I maintained almost 1.5 months. I went to the hostel, like where the government hostels used to run by the people. I went and asked the warden, is there any vacancy, at least one? They said it's all are finished because I joined late. The admission for the second counseling is late. So I used to go and stand there and ask them, can you please give me one seat? They said no, it's all are finished, it's all finished. So I don't know what to do that. Then I really troubled a lot. In room I cannot stay, in the outside I cannot eat anything. So I decided to pray. I went to the terrace. I sincerely prayed to God, Lord, why you brought me to this place? I only prayed, you give me the hostel seat or take me back to my home. That's only 2 things you need to do it. I sincerely prayed. I remembered, I cried a lot in front of the God. Give me the seat or take me back to home. It has happened for months, almost 2-3 months has happened. I really starving a life like anything for the food. Then after 3 months, there is a circular came to a department that there are some hostel seats are available in the campus. Those who are interested, you can apply. So I applied, and then me and my friend in the same department, no, the other department, went to the hostel office, applied. They said, okay, my friend has got a rank, higher rank than me. So he is supposed to get the hostel seat, but they said, your friend is not going to get the hostel seat because he joined in a material science, which is called a self-financed course. For me, they said, you will be going to get a seat because you joined in a normal course, which is not the self-financed course. Then I realized God ways are very different. I really cried in there itself. This is what happened. If at all I could have joined in the first counseling, the whole 2 years I'll be not going to get a hostel seat. There is a huge there is drastic changes in my life. I don't know whether I will continue or not, but God's plans are really, I understood that day, probably this is the reason God cancelled my seat in the first counseling, brought me back to the second counseling where I got a pure physics, which is the highest in physics department, all the subjects in physics, and I could able to get a hostel seat. I really thank God for that. That day I really decided, Lord, thanks for my prayers. And I decided that day onwards, on every Saturday, I want to fast and pray. And I have been continuing that thing in my life. from that day onwards. So as the days are moving, I have been excelling in my studies, moving and moving, and many times when I used to attend the churches, then though I know the USI in degree, so I didn't involve in properly, but in MSc, the moment I joined in hostel, I could able to contact some of the U brothers and I started attending the camps and everything. I started learning each and everything thoroughly and gained, and somehow I improved my spirituality from day to day. Then the good thing that I have observed in my life, when I was with my friends, they never spoke any vulgar language. If there is a wings like this, if I am moving in that wings, they stop talking and they ask me to go to your room quickly, we want to finish our discussion. So they know that this guy will not listen anything vulgar. So I really thank God for such a wonderful life you can. So then after that I just 1 year, there is a gap. After my MSc I completed and went back. I joined in one corporate college as a junior lecturer. Then as I was working there, so as I have taken a decision that I need to fast and pray, so Saturdays they never give the holidays. For the corporators, you need to work Saturday and Sunday more compared to other days, because till Friday main lecturers will give the lectures, but Saturday and Sunday junior lecturers has to take over the study hours and everything and all. So I have only 40 minutes. Continued my prayer time during those days also. So on every Saturday I use fast and pray and ask God for His will in my life. So even for the attending church also, sometimes I went to the night times. I took permission for 2 hours and then I attended night service, and later few months I asked the permission that I need to attend the morning service. So they given me, and I attended morning service also. So I never miss the attending church on Sundays. Most of my friends, I miss the most of fun with my classmates because they all conducted programs on Sundays. I never attended any program in Sunday. Somehow God has helped me to move such a kind of based on such kind of decisions. So after that, somehow I prayed during that situations also. God heard me, my prayers, and I applied for a PhD, got the seat and joined in a PhD. Even during my PhD also, I couldn't find a supervisor for a few months. Most of the students got, some of them are not got. So I prayed, God, Lord, you have brought me to this place, but still I am looking unto you. Please help me some supervisor. So meanwhile I attended one DT camp or LT camp in Hyderabad. So soon I come back. One supervisor is willing to take me. I joined and started working with the USI. I really thank for the USI because I enjoyed a lot in USI fellowship. I can say proudly and boldly, even I never enjoy with my own family also. I can still say that till today I'll enjoy with my believers friends like anything than my own family. So we really enjoy the fellowship, how it looks like we enjoy the fellowship of the like-minded people in University of Hyderabad as a USI. Some of are here also. I cannot express, but hope you can understand my words. So we enjoy a lot. We really enjoy a lot. So the fellowship is like that. So that helps me to grow in lot more and more. We used to share everything. We used to grow one another. We used to meet one another. We used to pray together. We used to share each and everything. We together sleep. We together eat in one plate. Such a wonderful joy. Such a wonderful fellowship we enjoyed in that. That's what my first and second year. And as we are moving to the I always remember one of my senior advisors telling me that no matter how many programs you are conducting, no matter how many programs you attended, no matter how many of follow-ups are conducted, no matter how many times you attend the church, but when you look back after your ministry, how your life is influenced and how many people are able to back to the God, that is an important. So it really strikes me correct. So we work like that, but as of now, some of the points I said is how God helped me in all the times. During my third year PhD, there is my old friend. She is a girl. She somehow she contacted me. So I talking to her, and then we were talking to each other after many years, almost 7-8 years. She contacted me and we started talking. So somehow I talked to her. I have been talking to her, and then we moved closely. We crossed the limits. Then I went to the God. Lord, what happening? Something is struggling in my heart. So as a friend, we are moving together. We are closely moving together. We are going somewhere else. With the family, we are going somewhere else. And we are just moving, as Bible point of view, we cross the limits and we are going. So then somehow it convinced me to marry her. And she also prayed. I also praying. So she prayed and said that probably this is God's will, let's pray. Let's pray and we'll continue. And then she said she said, we'll marry. Probably this is the God's will, that she said. Okay, I have been taking the decisions from different people, different advices, and I also sincerely praying, Lord, if this is a will, let's continue it. Then we keep praying. At certain point, somehow inwardly I was convincing, but somehow there is something lacking in my heart. So I strongly praying, sincerely praying to God, Lord, if at all this is your will, please continue, otherwise take it away. After a few weeks, we strongly praying together. Sorry, she's praying, I'm also praying. And after 1 week, she called back me and said that I'm going to get married with another person who is there in my church. I said, God, thank you. I believe that, Lord, probably this is your will. This is not your will that I should marry her. So I really cried out, because the situations are, I could not able to take the decision that time. As of now, she's a very good girl, looking good, very nice girl, very humble, and I known her from a long time. Somehow I convinced at one point, but later as I depending on God, I could not able to process that. So I really helped. And then I completed my PhD and looking for the proposals. I have seen different proposals. There's one proposal got to me. I went her and talked to her. Somehow I felt convinced and I went back to home. I prayed, Lord, I think this is God's will. And the next couple of 2 days, I called back to those people and said, yes, I'm okay for this proposal. We got married. And then after marriage, we lived together for a few months. Then I realized, this is the girl God has chosen for me. This is the better one. I never seen such a girl in my life. Whenever I go to pray, I always thank for my wife for giving me I always thank God for giving me such a wonderful wife. She's beautiful inside. She respects, she humbles. I always pray God to, Lord, give me a girl as a partner who loves you more than me, who really gives a nice hospitality. That's what God did in my life. So one thing I can learn in my life, that whenever I pray sincerely, God never deny my prayers. Whenever I go systematically, God never take it out my hard work. So I always thought that God always be with me. He always strengthens me. He always enables me to grow more and more. I know I do mistakes. I know I do sins against God. But the moment I confess, He reconciled me. The way, the joy I get is really wonderful. So that's what I can say, that in my whole life I have come to many situations, but I always stand on my word. Whenever I took a decision, I stand on that. I pray to God. God really helps. God will really give answer for that. So though I through the many situations, many problems, but I can say happily that in all my situations, God helped me and He strengthened me. And one thing I will close. Now I am in ISC. Currently we are seriously looking for a government jobs. And people, my colleagues, my fellows sitting beside me asking me, why you are so cool? You never bother about, as your age is increasing, you never bother about the job. You never feel like tensed. He always asked me, even at least once in a day he used to ask me. I said, I have a strong confidence in belief what I believed in my God. He can able to do in His own time. So I need not to worry about my life settlement. He has brought me from the small place to till here. I never expected that I'll completed my PhD. But He brought me till this. He has given me opportunity to do work in Indian Institute of Science, though I am not that much intelligent. But I strongly believe that God will help me in my settlement also. I can say that this is not because of my goodness, but this is because of God's goodness and some of the prayers. Because in my childhood, knowingly or unknowingly, I used to write to my sponsor that I would like to become a professor. I don't know, they might be prayed from that day onwards. Hope God is going to be fulfill that promise in the days to come. So please keep pray for me, and this is what God helped me and He strengthened me. So I always believe that if I do my work, God will do His part. If I stand on my word, God will stand on His word. So God never put me down in any ways. Thank you for your
Thank you so much, Anna. Now I request Paul Anna to please come forward and pray for